Hi, my name is Steve Harris, and I'm live at the Dream Academy with Damilala Oluwatoyinbo. We're about to have an amazing time. Guess what? I'm going to be talking about the subject, turning your dreams into dollars. Because guess what? I've done that, right? If you're not here, I truly wonder, where the hell were you? But you know what? You still have a choice. When I'm done, you can make sure you can order the tape, get the DVD, and make sure you are at the next Dream Academy in 2020. Because guess what? I'm going to be coming back whether they like it or not. See you there. To learn how to do this. Thank you. You're far too kind. Good afternoon, everyone. Have you guys been having an amazing time? I heard you all shouting when I walked in, and I was like, yes, yes, I got to be a part of this too. But thank you. My name, of course, is Steve Harris, and as you can tell, I'm way better looking in person. So, yes, just wanted to put it out there. I always like to joke that we're part of the Sweet Boys Association, but Jesus chapter, okay? Okay, so that's where we be. I'm going to be talking to you about the subject, going from dreams to dollars. All right, going from dreams to dollars. I know it's called Dream Academy, but it's all about execution. Yeah? It's called Dream Academy, but it's all about execution. And I'm hoping that you guys are going to work on the things that Dami has been talking to you about over the last couple of days. Yes? Yes. Because guess what? Tons of people can hear a lot of information, but if you don't execute, then you're wasting your time. You also have to think about it from the opportunity cost. What do I lose if I don't make this stuff happen? Right? So it's not a feel good, it's to do good. You know what I mean? It's not a feel good, it's to do good. Right? And I'm hoping that the conversations that we have today, which is already added to the amazing stuff that you've had over the last couple of days, will be worth it. So I'm going to be talking about turning your dreams into dollars, and simply because I've done it. Okay? So I'm not one of those guys who particularly talks about what they... Let me put it this way. I don't necessarily practice what I preach. I preach what I practice, right? So this is what I do, and I'm hoping that, I can share a few things with you. A couple of years ago, I had this huge dream where one day I'd be featured on international magazines, because every one of us who is doing what we do, we want to have accolades, yes? So there's no musician who doesn't want to win a Grammy, right? Every serious actor wants to win an Oscar, right? And everyone in my space wants to be featured internationally. And I've seen some of these things turn to pass because they were my dreams. So in 2014, I got featured by Slate magazine. As you can see from the picture, it doesn't show very clearly, but I look like an up-and-coming artist, right? So this is when I was still trying to blow, right? In 2015, I believe it was. Yes, I think it was 2015. I was featured on 16, right? 16. Okay, it's somewhere there. 16, thank you. I was featured in the Economist. That's a big friggin' deal. I don't know about you, but to me, it's a big deal. It's one of my dreams, like check, done and dusted. All right? Another of my dreams that came true was I got featured on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown blog. That's a big friggin' deal again for me. 2016, 2017, and just recently, I got featured in Forbes. So, thank you. No, you can clap, don't be shy. Yes, you can clap. There's a difference between an upcoming artist and a rap mogul, okay? But the reason I share this is because your dreams can come true if you're willing to put in the work. And people don't tell you the process. That's where the work is. Because between your promise and your performance, there's a process. And most people don't like the process. But I'm going to be dealing with you some very practical and actionable things. So before your dreams turn into dollars, you've got to be willing to pay the price. And I just want to very quickly share with you just a little bit of the price I've paid. In 2010, I got thrown a curveball, and I've shared this story before, but I'm going to really breeze through this. So I left my job. I was working with Fela Durotoye, all right, in his consulting firm. Had an amazing, amazing life. I was the head of our consulting group. My rent was paid, house was paid, car was paid because of my level. It just so happens also I'm a 2-time college dropout. So not having a college degree can literally screw you up if you're not careful. But I left at the time based on divine instruction. Now, I'm a man of faith. I do believe that God speaks, but we don't listen. But, at the time, I felt led it was time to go. And it was really very traumatic for me because it wasn't one of the things I wanted to do, right? And at the time where I finally obeyed, because there's a difference between when God speaks and when you obey, right? So the day I finally obeyed, I told my wife that, God says this is what we got to do. And my wife is amazing. So she says, jump, God will catch you. And I was like, God will catch you. Don't you think we need a parachute just in case God is busy? And but the day I left, I had exactly 20,000 naira in my account. She had left her job months before because she was having issues with the pregnancy. So she left her job. We had no money. I had 20 grand. Our rent was going to be due in about 3 months, and I was scared. And I'm sitting at home, bemoaning my fate and asking, how on earth am I going to take care of this family? I think by the third day, I had about 17,000 naira because we're spending 1,000 naira every day. So by day 3, it was 17K. So I knew that, look, you've got 17 days to turn your life around. And so I sat down having conversations with God. Like, God, pull up a chair, man. We got to talk, right? And we spoke, and, in the series of conversations that I had, the first question that I was asked was, if you could make any amount of money in a year, how much would you like to make? I was like, okay, 88 million naira. Okay, so I wrote that down. I said, how much do you have? I was like, 17K, but, I have it in heavenly places, but I just don't know where my ATM is. And he said, what are you good at? What are the things you're good at? So I wrote down the things that I felt I was good at. I had consulting experience, wrote that down. My career as a motivational speaker had just begun. I had gotten a certification in life coaching, just a couple of things. I wrote them down, about 3 or 4 or 5 things. I'm not like you guys. You guys look really smart. You guys you can do multiple things. I just can't. I think God has just given me the one thing I know how to do, and I've sold it. You know what I mean? It's like Nigeria has oil, but from that oil you can get kerosene, you can get diesel, you can get petrol, you can get engine oil, you can get Pierce baby jelly. That's how I am, right? I don't have oil, I don't have gold, I don't have this. I just have one. So I said 88 million naira, and the question was asked if you could, what would give you this? So I said consulting, if 30 million naira. If I could get 10 clients to give me 3 million naira over the course of a year, I'd make 30. Then I broke everything down. But now I have 88 million naira in heavenly places, and I don't have it in cash. But like I always say, it's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. I think I might say that again, right?
Yes, please.
Right? It's not what you don't have. It's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. Right? It's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. All right? You good? So long story short, over a period of 10 months, now this is where, the process that people don't see. So I have clients. I have 30 million naira from consulting that I want to get, but I have no consulting clients. And I also have an integrity dilemma, and I'm going to tell you why. So as the head of our consulting group, I was the one who was doing all the business with our clients. I was the one negotiating, had their numbers. If there was training, I'd go do all those sorts of things. So when I left, I felt, no one told me, I felt it would be wrong to prospect the clients that I had built relationships with for my company, right? Because, I remember one day, one client called, I think it was GT Bank at the time, said, oh, Steve, we have this training, da-da-da. I said, okay, no problem, we'll hook it up. So I called the office and said, you guys have training. They've called, go do it. Now, they did it, the client called and said, Steve, we didn't see you. I said, oh, I wasn't around, something happened. I said, okay, no problem, you guys have training. So I called the office and said, you guys have training. They did it, client calls me and says, Steve, what's going on? We didn't see you, like, you're too big for us. I said, no, I'm not too big. I said, oh, I've left fella I'm not working with. I said, okay, no problem, come now, let's have a conversation. I said, no problem. I never went to have that conversation with a pregnant wife, with bills mounting for 1 year. I could call them, they would give me work, but I felt like, nah, if I want to do this, if God really sent me, then I can strike it on my own. And I don't need to take anybody's clients. And so for 1 year, as tempted as I was, I didn't do it. And that's painful. Because when your wife's tummy is getting bigger and your account balance is getting smaller, then you figure out and say, you know what, but for some people, they don't care. But I gave myself a window, 1 year, ain't going to do it. So long story short, over a period, another thing, I remember I have no clients, but, forgive me, but faith is the substance of what you're hoping for, the evidence of things you don't see. So I would sit, and at this time I didn't have an office. So I would sit in my living room. We didn't have a table. So I would put paint buckets, put 2 paint buckets on top of the other, put my laptop on top of the paint buckets, and I would sit at my desk, and I would work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Because I said, if I want GTB to give me emotional intelligence training, do I have slides on emotional intelligence? No, I don't. Therefore, I have no faith. So I have to build content for emotional intelligence. If I want to do a training on leadership, do I have slides on leadership that do not belong to my previous company? No. Therefore, I must create them. So I would sit down and create content for clients I don't have. Is somebody getting where I'm coming from? Because people don't show you the grind. But long story short, I had this weird idea that I want to write a book, which is outside, I think, from college dropout to corporate seller, because I dropped out of school, wanted to share my story. Figured I'd sell 1,000 copies of my book at 2,000 naira, make 2 million copies, 2 million naira. And I sold 3,000 copies in 1 year. I made about 6 million naira from books. That year I closed, not the year, well, in 10 months, I made about 17 million naira. I didn't make 88. I wasn't upset. It was a huge upgrade from 17K to 17 million. Yeah, how many more zeros? Yeah. So, Lord, I don't mind. You tried for me, and that was it. And the second year, we did 50-something million, and that was 8 years ago. Okay? We're not playing, Abi. This is the matter. It's not a joking matter, right? So, but this was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me hungry. No disrespect, guys, but I think, forgive me, and I mean no disrespect, I think your generation has it easy. You know what I mean? And what do I mean? I remember, so now it's very easy. We've got Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitter Live, Periscope, yada, yada, yada. You guys have got tools at your disposal. But when I started, we didn't have none of that stuff. And don't worry, I'm not that old, okay? But we didn't have, I remember my very first webinar, which is what you might call Instagram Live today, live video. It was 1,000 naira. I was going to be teaching people on financial intelligence and this, because people were driving me nuts, asking me questions about how to manage their money. I decided, you know what, heck it, I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. Just pay $1,000 bucks, just 1,000 friggin' quid, right? 1K. Do you know how many people signed up? 2? Look at me now. Look at the number you're mentioning. Yeah? How many people do you think signed? 500? 4,000? One person. I kid you not. I kid you not. One person. And it was my wife. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. My wife said to me, this is a true story. My wife said to me, Shay, you said, so prior to the event, I've been marketing and pushing, and I didn't get nobody. This is like an hour to my live webinar, and not one person has paid or shown up or interest or nothing. 1K. And then I said, if I just get one person to pay, I'll do it. Let one person just pay, I'll do it. Next thing, I get a credits alert. So I get 1K. So I run to the living room and I show my wife, somebody paid 1K. Then I look at the credits remark, and it's my wife's name. And she said, Shay, you said if one person pays, you'll do it. She says, oh yeah, go and do it now. Women. So shout out to my wife and his wife. They believe. They believe. Even when there was nothing, they believe. So she paid the 1,000 naira, and I had to endure the shame, so to speak, sit in front of my laptop and say, hey everyone, this is Steve Harrison. Welcome to the Financial and Training Intelligence webinar, and I'm going to be talking about this. And my wife will, now you guys do likes and this. My wife will do, yay, woo. She'll be typing in the comments, woo, go Steve, nice, deep. And I ran it for 1 hour. Did the training, cried my eyes out. But when you have raw material, you can do so much with it. So even though no one paid me for that event, because it was recorded, I decided to sell it. So I said, just in case you missed the Financial Intelligence webinar, it was awesome, you missed it, it was amazing, but you guys can order it, you can subscribe and pay for the video, the webinar replay, it's only 5,000 naira. I got 12 people who paid. So from 1,000 to 60K, the same product. So sometimes you're upset that you're posting stuff on Instagram and nobody's liking. Have you ever had to live stream and the second person who's live streaming is your second phone? I don't know if you know what I'm saying. That you're live streaming, you're talking deep. The one person who is watching is your other phone that is on. Because nobody is watching. But that's where the deep stuff is. That's where the grind is. So don't look at some of us who perhaps are out there and just think, oh, it's not to speak at me, so I can speak now. If your speaking doesn't cause results, you're an echo. You know what I'm saying? If there are no results, you are an echo. I hope this is making some sense. I mean, I've been married for 10 years. This month is my anniversary. Right? And to reward my wife for all the many, 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 many things that she did. Sorry, Tabu. Women were doing #relationship goals. I bought my wife a car, and I've always bought her a car almost every 2 years of our marriage, but the difference was, this was the car that was truly hers. Because every other car we'd bought, I bought it so that we can share it. I don't know if you know what I mean. I would buy a car that both of us could use. I won't be caught dead in a Picanto, if you know what I'm saying. We ain't going out like that, right? So every car we bought was something we could share. But for the first time, I could buy her something that her eyes lit up when she wanted, and it was a pre-anniversary present. I don't know what I'm even going to do for the anniversary, so if I'm in trouble, you can give me ideas, right? Yes, we've raised the bar. But that's the amazing thing. And you can't have that if you don't have dollars. If you're not making money, it's not going to make any sense. So, the income you have is evidence of the impact you're making. So I'm going to be giving you quite a bit of ugly truth. And I'm sorry if I'm going to rock your boat. It's necessary. So I don't mean to offend. I'm just a bit of a realist. Yeah. So no disrespect. If you ain't making no money, you're not making no impact. Now, I'm not a capitalist, I'm not money driven, money. That doesn't move me. If I sell 1,000 books and I make 10 million naira, for example, I don't see 10 million naira. I see 1,000 people who bought my books. That's how I see it. It just happens to reflect in money, right? So I'm not chasing money. But the income you have is evidence of the impact you're making. So, one of the things that truly blew my mind, and there are perhaps a lot of things that please allow me to, maybe it's the Spirit that is moving, right? There are a lot of things that you're trusting God for that you're not aware that you've written them as post-dated checks. I'm going to say that again. There are certain things you're trusting God for, but you don't think He's now. You think He's later. So it's a post-dated check. You say, this thing, calculation, based on calculation, maybe when I'm 50, maybe when I'm 45, when I'm 47, you've post-dated it because in your natural, you can't see it. And one of the things that I post-dated was owning my own house. In my mind, I couldn't fathom and figure it out. And not just owning my own house, owning it debt-free. I'm paying once. There are certain parameters that I felt, yes, you can get a mortgage and pay over 25 years if that's the way it floats your boat. But I'm averse to owing money. I'm allergic to owing money. I just don't like it. And so one day I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and we're talking and just gisting because, that was last year, 39, about to hit 40. And 40 is that year where most guys put themselves under undue pressure. Like you feel like time is passing by. You look past the first 40 years, you're like, screwed it up. How am I going to make sure the next 40 are going to be good? And then we start getting depressed. So he and I were talking, and, we were just very angry with God. And, almost like, God, it's not fair. See Yahoo boys just buying houses, buying cars, and me, I'm carrying your matter on my head, and I'm still living in an apartment or rented apartment, da-da-da-da-da. And that's not God's problem. That's all on you. But now it dawned on us that after the conversation and our ranting, my friend asked the question. He said, how much is the house? We didn't know. Because you're trusting God for stuff that you're not aware of. You've not even done the research. You've not even brought the number and say, this is how much I need right now. Dawned on us that we didn't know. We're ranting about houses. We have no idea how much they cost. So we start looking for houses. And every house I'm seeing is 80 million, 60 million, 100 million, million. The zeros are so much. Intimidating. But it's that thing about your mind, and I'm sure Dami has taught this, that once you are razor focused about exactly what you want, all of a sudden your mind will start honing in on those things you want. So if you've ever decided you wanted to buy a particular car, you start seeing the car everywhere, right? It's not because they're mass producing it, it's just because now your mind has zoned in on what you want, and it's filtering everything else you don't want. It's bringing into focus what you do want, and it's filtering everything you don't want. So all of a sudden I started hearing just about house that before I wasn't listening to. Every ad was a radio ad, buy land, buy house, conversation, real estate. All those conversations were zoning in. And then my friend says, somebody comes to meet him for the conversation, and he says, December is the time where, people try to, sell off their property in case they, whatever the case may be. Distressed sales, that's the way he put it. So I was like, oh, cool. Let's look for a distressed sale. At least I don't have the money, but let's just check it out. Long story short, we go, conversations, we see a house. The house was really distressed. I was like, no, we are looking for distressed buyers, not distressed houses. And the guy, the realtor says, there's this house that they're developing just right opposite the Lagos Business School, brand new, 2 buildings, they're building it, and let's go and see. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Let's go. So we drive, we go. The owner is there. We start conversations. He tells me the price of the house. It's one of those plenty zero houses. And I don't have the money. But it's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. So I looked at the house, went around, checked it out, looked really, really snazzy. The guy told me the price. I heard him. So he said, you know what, see, look, I don't have time for all this conversation. Look, Oga, I need money like, I have a trip in another 2 weeks. I have to travel somewhere, See, if you just give me 20 million naira now, we can discuss the rest. Just if you give me 20 million naira now, I'll give you the key because I need the money now. He said 20 million. I said, yeah. I said, when are you traveling? He said, December 21st. I said, okay. December 20th, I'll talk to you. I didn't have the money. So December 20th. But you know how it is, that time and chance, all of a sudden, I start getting opportunities. People are calling me, Steve, I want you to come and do this. Can you come and do this? Can you come and do this? Can you do this? And boom, 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 boom. December 19th, I called him. I said, can I have your account number? Gives me his account number. I pay him the money, gives me the keys. And in 6 months, and this is my house. I don't live there because I want to be a landlord. You told him, right? I want to be a landlord.
By the way, we didn't plan our content because every speaker has echoed something else said.
Right.
See, spirit is one. So landlords can be cool like this too. We're raising the bar for landlords in Lagos, right? But this is a dream that I had post-dated. So maybe when I was 45, 47. But your dreams can't turn into dollars unless you get a few things right. And I'm here to help you get them right. So first off, your dreams can't be turned into dollars because, number one, you are making a difference, but you're not making a living. You're making a difference, but you're not making a living. See, I'm not here to shake your tables, right? I'm here to bring down the building. That's what I want to do. Right? We don't shake tables. Tables are too small. Right? You're making a difference, but you're not making a living. You know, I always tell people I'm not a business coach, speaker, author, yada, yada, yada. I'm a businessman that just happens to coach people. I'm a businessman that happens to write. I'm a businessman that happens to speak. I'm not any of the labels that people call me. So primarily, I'm a business. And for your dreams to turn into dollars, you must think like a business. You've got to think like a business. You've got to act like a business. Now, a lot of us are making a difference, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get it twisted. I'm here because I believe in making a difference, right? But if you're not making a living, right, the passion you have will frustrate the living socks out of you. So you've got to now learn, how do I balance it? How do I get the money from the pockets of the people that have it? Because they have it too. The question is, are they going to give it to you? Let me give you an example. So, many, many years ago, in fact, many years ago, and I get invitations from churches to speak. Come and talk and come and share something, yada, yada, yada. And I love what I do. So I'd go to make a difference, be a blessing, the whole 9 yards. And I'd speak, have an amazing time. And many times they won't pay me. And they'll say to me things like, sir, it's God's work. Yeah. Freely you have received, freely you give. And all those catchphrases and things like that. And I believe them. And, I didn't mind. I was like, yeah, sure. But once my wife got pregnant, right, my paradigm shifted. It's God's work too, you know what I'm saying? And the word has become flesh. The word has become flesh. Right? So check this out. Number 2, and I'm tying the stories together, so stay with me. Your dreams will not turn into dollars because you're getting paid, but it's not in the currency you want. You're getting paid, it's just not in the currency you want. Right? So for example, I tie my story together, I get invited and I speak, and they pay me in fruits and vegetables. They give me hamper, Milo, Bornvita, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't mind at first. So it all changed for me. One day I went to a particular church. They wanted me to speak Saturday morning, Saturday evening, and Sunday morning. And it was out of Lagos, I think. And and I didn't mind. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come. Then I happened to ask a friend of mine who was in the organizing committee, who else is coming? So he mentioned a couple of people. Then he said Midnight Crew. So I was like, oh, cool, Midnight Crew. So you guys brought them. He said, yeah, that they're doing like a 15-minute thingy, that they have a fly, but they're doing like a drive-through. They're going to another city, so on their way there, they'll just stop, do 15 minutes, and zap. So I asked, are you guys paying them? They was like, oh, yeah, we're paying them. I'm like, cool. So I asked, how much are you paying? It was about 500K. I was like, I don't understand. I said, I don't understand. They're getting 500 grand for 15 minutes, and I'm speaking Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, and it's free. I'm like, see, I said to them, if you guys will not pay me at least what you're paying them, I'm not coming. I said, it's not like that, sir. It's God's work. I said, are they not doing God's work? But the difference is because you don't know the value you add. So I had said to them that when your church wants to buy fuel, do you go to the gas station and say it's God's work? Do they give you free gas? I said, if you want to buy a keyboard, will they give you a free keyboard because they said it was God's work? I said, so why do you think that what I'm doing is God's work and I shouldn't get paid for it? I said, I'm not doing it. They refused to pay me, so I refused to go. And they said, we'll find somebody else. I'm like, yeah, do you? So you're getting paid, it's just not in the currency you want. And unfortunately, you've got to decide what currency you want, and that's the truth. You're getting paid. It's just not the currency. You may be getting paid in social media likes. You might trend. Cool. You might make a difference. That's cool too. But you got to decide what's important to you. What do you value? Right? So how do you measure value? There are 3 fundamental questions, or currencies. There's income, there's impact, and then there's influence. There's income, there's impact, and then there's influence. And you're going to get paid in any of these 3. You have to decide which one you want. Right? So income is obvious. Impact, you're making a difference. Influence, you're growing your brand and the whole 9 yards. Right? Now, does it mean that in all places you must charge income? No. So, for example, I'm here at Dream Academy. There's no conversation about money. He has influence with me. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Relationship capital, influence, favor, the whole 9 yards. Cool. Do you get where I'm coming from? Yeah. There's some other places that, hell no, you will pay me. I will not leave my house because I've treated what I do as a business. Yeah. And you've got to be in that perspective and not be afraid or ashamed to place value on what is valuable. So I want to quickly ask, right, which of these 3 do you think you're currently being paid in? Would anyone like to just rat it out? Yes, love. Income? You're getting paid in income? Anyone else? Yes. Income? No, they are being paid in, not you will be paid in Jesus' name. You're currently getting this. Yes. Impact? Thank you. Income, but not enough. Okay. Not enough. Okay. Cool. So we'll figure this out. So, check this out. What's the highest single amount of money you've earned from your practice, from your business? Full disclosure, I want to know. So please tell me. I hope you don't mind. Don't be embarrassed. 150K for 3 hours. Yep. I'm just kidding. 180K for 5 days, so that's like 30K a day. 35. Anyone else? Yeah? Don't be shy. What about you, sir? 45K. How long did the project last? Okay, so it's for infinity and beyond. Yes. 20K a day. Wow. Ooh, yes. 50K for 3 hours. Eh? That's 20K a bride. Okay. Anyone else? Wow. Ooh. That's 30K per person, give or take. Yeah. 36. 600K. Okay. So the more the money, you don't need to add K after it. Let's say 600. 600 for what? Okay, cool. Sorry. Right? So, yes, love, go on. 50K for 3 hours. Nice, cool. I'm trying to think of mine, but I'm not sure. Let me skip. All right? So, all right? The highest amount of money you've made for your practice, okay? Is that your value? Okay. So here's the problem. Your value is not predicated. Are we together, guys? Your value isn't predicated by what you think it's worth. It's predicated by what your customer thinks it's worth. I'm going to say that again. Your value isn't predicated on what you think it's worth. It's predicated by what your customer thinks it's worth. Yeah? Another interesting way to understand what your value is to answer the simple question, what do they lose if they don't have me? What do they lose if they don't have me? So your value first is not predicated by what you think it's worth. It's predicated by what your customer thinks it's worth. But you have to put that thinking in the mind of your customer. It has to be like a subconscious implant that in their mind they're thinking already they can't afford you. But your value is really predicated by the vacuum, by answering the question, what do they lose if they don't hire you? So let's make this practical, shall we? So for whatever the hell you do, right? Tell me what I lose. I'm sorry, that's how I am. Sorry, I'm rated R for real. So tell me what you do, and then tell me what I will lose if I don't hire you. Okay? Who wants to try? You want to try? Stand, don't be shy. It's quite difficult, that's why we're here. Yes. Which suggests that you've probably never thought about it before. So this is good. Don't hit.
So I do running a communication that I do websites, printing, designs, logo, and everything. So what you stand to lose if you don't know what to do is you don't have an advantage over your customer because the customers are already taking this platform, their website, they're already optimizing it for search and making sure that they're communicating everywhere. So you start to lose a large percentage of the market share when you don't properly communicate your value to the audience.
What did you say you do again?
I do brand communications.
Sounds like you're a printer.
Sounds like that. Yeah. For digital and offline.
So what do I lose if I don't hire you?
You use your ability, you use visibility, you use credibility.
I can get it on social media. That was easy. He said, I beg, let me sit down before this fire is too hot. Anyone else? Yes, love, go on.
Some questions,
Okay.
So what do you tailors, designers don't keep to time. I keep to time.
So you're an accurate timekeeper.
So I'm going to save you time. So when you say you want your clothes on Monday, you get it on Monday, and that's very scarce, it's very rare.
But it's not enough for me to pay you extra.
There's also perfection, excellence in the job too.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And I'll tell you why. Don't sit. I'll tell you why. Who's next? Come on, let me rip your idea into shreds. Yes, but I'm a lot better and good looking. Hit me. Hit me. What do you do?
I'm into event hosting.
Sorry, forgive me.
The event hosting part of me is more functional.
What does that mean, event hosting?
Event MC.
Okay, comparing. Got it.
Yes, but my brand name is Anointed MC. And then what the customers call me is mostly Queen of the Night. Now, I have an issue with my mandate and what I bring. Because you're used to when you go out there, a lot of people just want to, gym as soon as they got there. And the mandate I have
It's holy. Holy, holy,
not
holy.
like it's holy, but it's like to bring fun to the Christian space. And then
So your clients are only Christians?
not really. Not really, because there's another part of me, all right?
You're already divided into 3 parts right now, so I'm trying to catch up. Okay.
What I do basically is an event MC,
Yes.
and I concentrate on inspiring people. So whenever I have an event, I'm not just looking at, okay, let's just run through the agenda. I'm looking at how I can solve the problem of the person planning events and also fire the audience, basically, in a nutshell.
It's a very small nut. Please sit. So allow me to explain. You can sit. Go on, try. I don't know if this is still on because I've been fiddling with this all the time, so you might need to double check. It's still on? Cool. Cool. Hit me.
Yeah. My name is Gabriel. I help people look qualified to attract the opportunities they qualify for by showing them how they can leverage on their clothing and use it as a weapon to command respect and also sell themselves.
I like that.
So what you would lose if you don't work with me is time. You lose time in decision fatigue. Waking up in the morning trying to figure out what to wear, because I can help you build an interchangeable wardrobe where every piece of clothes fits each other. You also lose time in shopping, because I can help you.
He's getting emotional. You gotta listen. This is deep.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so you also lose time in shopping because I would help you shop the pieces that you want. And finally, I feel you will lose executive presence. I know you look good, you look smart, but I can make you look better.
Okay. So let's put it in context, okay? When you're selling to your clients and when you're selling value, you have to sell to their deepest, darkest fantasy that they don't readily admit to anyone. Okay? I'm going to say that again. You're going to sell to their deepest, darkest fantasy that they don't readily admit to anyone. That's what you're selling to. You're not selling to their brain. You're not selling to their logic. You're selling to their emotions. But it's not just any emotion. It's their deep, dark fantasy that they're not willing to explain to anyone. All right? So I'm going to go a little bit higher. Please take me as I am, okay? I hit you the way it is, and please forgive me, okay? Does anyone know Victoria's Secrets? Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah.
All right, ladies particularly, right? Why do we buy Victoria's Secrets? Branding. Okay. Their models are hot, yes? Okay, they've got huge runway shows. Okay, bro.
So they appeal to the fact that every woman wants to feel sexy
Okay.
and attractive.
right? Okay, anyone else? Excellence? Luxury? Okay, cool. There's stores, okay. Impression? The person, okay. That's their fantasy. That's what they sell. So the woman who buys Victoria's Secrets, right? Apart from amplifying her sex appeal and all that, what she's really buying is that if this nigger sees me wearing this, he is not going to look at any other woman. That is her unspoken desire. So if you think you're just buying lingerie because it looks good, it's comfortable, it's excellent, hell no. Don't buy for those reasons. The real deep down reason, if this man sees me when I bring it, he's not going anywhere. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what you're selling to. So no woman, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you guys are really different kettle of fish, right? There are very few women who will pick up the lingerie and say, oh, I wonder how excellent this will make me feel. No. Excellence. Yes. I wonder how comfortable this will make me feel. No. I wonder how drop dead gorgeous. When I put this on, that's what it is. End of story. That is why you buy Victoria's Secrets. Bring it into context. There's a wedding, right? What are the things in the wedding? So where's our compare? Anointed, Holy Ghost. There you go. Yes, I'm just messing with you, don't worry. There's a wedding, right? What are the things in the wedding scenario that cannot be done without? Music, cake, food, couples, MC, decor, you're getting warmer, photography, getting warmer, timing, outfit, what's in particular? The wedding dress. So hold on, so let's stop with the wedding dress. What is it about the wedding dress that is so valuable that somebody will pay Maya Tafo 600K for a dress she will wear for 3 hours? Huh? Memory? Stand out. Now we're talking. Get kill. Yes. Your entrance. She is the highlight. She is the synosure of all eyes. No other woman in that event will look like her. Do you get it? No other woman in this event will look at me, will look like me. So number one, there is scarcity. I'm the only one wearing this. There's scarcity. Nobody else will wear this. Number two is there's exclusivity. So it's exclusive to just me. In fact, if my bridesmaids dare dress up as good as me, they're off the train. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Those are the unspoken things. That's what makes it scarce. That's what makes it valuable. So the bridesmaids don't say, well, I'm thinking it will make me excellent. I'm thinking it will be comfortable. Listen, no disrespect. When a woman, give an example, a guy pops the question to his girlfriend. And she goes on Instagram and she does her Instagram stories and she puts a picture of the ring and she says, I said yes. Let me ask you the question. What did she say yes to? Huh? Yes to what? To the guy or to the ring? Wait. It's not to the ring. It's not to the guy. Because if it was this ring, my ring is pretty expensive, but if it was this ring and he offered it, will she say yes? No. She ain't gonna say yes to say, yes, I'm saying yes to the She won't post it now. Yes, she won't post it. Why would she? Isn't she getting proposed to? Isn't she becoming somebody's wife? But what is she really saying yes to? It's the ring. Because if it wasn't, and this is no disrespect, if it wasn't to anything else, then any ring would do. But the quality, when you post the ring, when they see the bling, it must be postable. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. It must be beefable. You know what I'm saying? That when your friends see, they're like, where's the ring? Let me even see. Then you now show them. You know, say, it's not much. It's nothing much. It's just. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, sweetheart, right? Particularly for you, and here's my ish, right? I don't want you to, don't brand yourself for the Christian audience. No disrespect, and I'll tell you why. Because when you're really good, people don't care what faith you are. If you brand yourself for the Christian audience, no disrespect, Christians don't pay. They will not pay. They will use scriptures. They will give you God's word and wrap you up in it. But if you are incredibly good, they don't care what faith you're in. IK is Christian. Ebuka is Christian. As long as they're incredibly good at what they do, they'll demand top dollar, right? So while you're trying to, and again, remember, value is not what you say it is, what the customer says it is, right? So if the customer wants, no disrespect, G Masu, please, G Masu, you know what I'm saying? If they don't want to be inspired, it is not a corporate event. If it was a corporate event where you could take a product and, break it down and say, so hypothetically, I don't know what, if it was a corporate kind of gig and the more cerebral type people out there, right, then they would appreciate the quality of your thought process. But what they want is to be entertained. They want to have a pretty good time. They don't want you to talk them through the good time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Personally, I just think that if you up your game really, really incredibly much, no one is going to care that you're from this audience or for that audience. IK is Christian, but he charges a heck of a lot of money. I don't know if you know what I mean. So, my point is, value is not what you say it is. It's what the customer says it is. And you have to sell to their fantasy, right? Think about it this way. When couples are about to get married, they have a pre-wedding photo shoot, yes? Yeah. Have you noticed that the photo shoots are becoming incredibly outlandish? Yeah. What are they paying for? They're paying for viralocity. They're paying for their picture to break the internet. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what they're paying for. They're paying for that when they put their pictures out. Bella, Nigel, Linda, KG, and all them people will cover it and say, see how bride and groom took their picture. That's what they're paying for. It's viralocity. They're not just taking the picture to take a picture for picture's sake. No, if it doesn't break the internet, we'll do it again. Have you ever posted a picture on Instagram that didn't get any likes? You removed it and put another one again. Change the filter and did it again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So imagine if you're a photographer whose job it was to create memories that went viral. Do you know that people will pay for that? That you're not no, I'm not a photographer. No. I help you create whatever, memories that go viral. Now, you're no longer taking a picture. You're paying for viralocity. That is the deepest, darkest desire that sometimes they don't know. I was driving for my first meeting. I went somewhere this morning and I had to drive in. And my car, the windows are tinted, and I just had these, these police lights that blink and da-da-da-da-da. When I got to the gate, my driver didn't say anything. The security guard opened it and did. Sure, sir. What did I pay for? I paid for that class. Because if you drive with another car, you'll say, oh God, there's no space. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Oh, so that means you're driving the wrong car. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to make it practical. All right? So what single figure would you like to earn 12 months from now? The fact that you're signed is already proof positive that there's something wrong. Because every business forecasts. Every business has an idea of what they want to make. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And you've got to be strategic when it comes to money, right? Money is not hard to make. It's not hard to make. And I don't say that as a cliche statement, right? If you want to make $1 million naira is not complex. Depends on how you break it down. $1 million naira is one person giving you $1 million naira. Right? There's 2 people giving you 500K, 10 people giving you 100K, and so on and so forth. All you have to do is choose your routes to market. I don't know if you know what I mean. For some people, it is easier. Are we together, guys? Some people would prefer to sell 1,000 products worth, I don't know what the numbers are, maybe to 1,000 people to give them $1 million naira. Some other person might decide, I'm going to sell 100K product to 10 people, I've made $1 million. It's just the amount of stress you want. I don't know if you know what I mean. I gave an example this morning in my previous events. I was speaking to photographers and talking to them about the business of photography. And most of them I saw were thinking about events and weddings and all those things. I said, you guys are thinking too small. I said, think about it. There are, do you know how many elected officials there are in Nigeria right now? There's 1 president, there's 1 vice president, there are 36 governors, 100 and so odd senators, 774 local government chairmen, 300 and something odd House of Representative members. I said, imagine if you decided you were going to be taking pictures of local government chairmen. Everywhere he goes, you will go. So instead of killing yourself about events and events and events, you can just decide to say, you know what, I'm going to stay here and become a political photographer or whatever the case may be. You're a reputation management consultant. Think about it now. When Bio posts Buhari's pictures on his page, Buhari is always pensive. He's always thinking. He's always looking serious. He's always working hard. The president is working. This reputation image, that's the image being projected. Look at this Negro, this senator sex toy. That dude, right? No, we may diss him, but there's a huge opportunity there. Because that guy needs reputation management. If someone had the brains enough or whatever, the guts enough to say, see, dude, you've got bad PR right now, we need to clean you up. This is our 100-day plan to change your image. That person will cash out ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Because you know how many senators most Nigerians don't know their names? But then he'll now become the one who everyone is talking about, which enhances his political career. But that's one person chasing, one person that will give them 1 million naira, as opposed to hustling 100 events. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So for example, Uche does amazing hair. And she does amazing stuff on Instagram. But they're paying her 30K. What the hell? There are 774 local government chairmen who are married. Are you listening to me? Yes. There are 774 local government chairmen who are married. Right? Some of them have 2 wives. There are 300 and so odd senators. Local House of Representative members who have 1 and in some cases 2 wives. There are, you get it? There are 100 and so odd senators. So while Uche is doing an amazing job, she could be, to make her million, she's hoping to get 100 people who will give her 10K. When she could just speak to 1 person, local government chair. Do you know how many local government chairmen are in Lagos? So where do you meet them? Their wives have associations. That is strategic thinking. I don't know if you know what I mean. If you strike, the Bible says, if you strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. If you get the shepherd, the sheep will come together. I don't chase sheep. Chase shepherds. They bring their sheep. See, I hope after all these finger snapping and stomping, you'll do something. Because, for example, that's the way I am. So it's quite unfortunate that I know Uche. Because the next time I see her, I'll be like, come, not far. How many local government chairmen have you spoken to? Uncle Steve. Don't you dare. Go get it done. So you're lucky I don't know you. At least the people I know, I'll hold them. Do you get where I'm coming from? But if your heart, if Uche hears that thought and she does, there's that thing in her, she's already self-sabotaging because in her heart she does not believe can't do it. It's not me. But you don't know. Abi? Tell the person beside you, you don't know. Check it out. Number 3. Your dreams can't be turned to dollars because your reward system is upside down. So you remember that I talked about that whole impact, income, yada, yada, yada? You have what I call a value triangle. And I'm sure your value triangle, mostly generally, looks like this. Impact, influence, and income at the bottom. And this is what my triangle looked like for a really long time. Be a blessing, be a blessing. And I'm still a blessing, no doubt about it. Right? And I do, and influence is very important. Right? Income, I didn't really mind. As long as I was a blessing, I didn't really mind. Right? But now that was then. I've been delivered. This is my triangle. Income. So there are people who call me and say, or send me DMs on Instagram and say, oh, sir, I have this, my business, I have this problem, I want to talk to you. If I can get 5 minutes of your time, and da-da-da-da-da. And no disrespect, I ain't got time for everyone. My time is I'm a limited resource, and my time is something I can't joke with. So I created structure. Created structure. So if you go on my website, imsteveharris.com/coaching, you click on coaching, and then you would see my services. A 1-hour coaching call on the phone is 100,000 naira. A coaching call on the phone. You will use your credit to call me, or I'll not call you. You will call me for an hour, because I'm not calling to gist. I'm calling to give you strategy for your business. It's 100 grand. You want to sit down and look into my beautiful blue eyes and and hear my melodious voice physically, then you'll pay me 500K. And don't get it twisted, people pay. And people pay. But when they see that, and they say, Steve, no, it's too, no, I can't afford it. Maybe when I have money, I'll come. I say, no problem, you can go. Why? Because your pain wasn't really paining you. It's not hooking you yet. Go. When you are ready, I'll be waiting. But then I meet other people who say, I can't afford 100K, but I have 60, I've got 50. How many minutes will that buy me? And I say, that person is serious. Come, bring your money, come. I can sit down with you. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? Because they'll pick your brain for free. But if you don't have structure, then you will be passing on all. They say the word poor is passing over opportunities repeatedly. Just passing them over, passing over opportunities repeatedly. So people don't want to wear a dress because of convenience, because of time, because it saves me this or excellence. None of that stuff. They buy the dress, right? Christian Louboutin shoes, right? Those red bottom soles. What do they pay for? It's not issue. Does it cost $3,000 to make the red sole? No. But what are you paying for? Class, perception. I'm not your mate. That's what it is. There's no woman who wears Louboutins and then sits down and she puts her feet on the floor. Hell no. She will show you. And in case you don't know, she will twist and turn. Listen, I am not your mate or your mother's mate. Do you know what I'm saying? When a woman wears Louboutins, her shoes does the talking. She doesn't need to introduce herself. There are meetings and there are cars we've driven that when you go for meetings, you don't need to say anything. Just put your car key on the table. Just put your car key on the table. And you've said it all. I am not, sorry, can you see the car I'm driving? I'm not a hungry consultant, I'm sorry. I can afford to walk away from this deal. I don't know if you know what I mean. But it's how you position yourself. Income, influence. This is my triangle. Now, influence is very important to me, partly because I measure there are dreams that I've had and by the grace of God are coming true. And, I don't know, there's some people who don't care. Things like the number of, if I get verified on Instagram tomorrow, I'll be a very happy man. Why? I know it seems petty, but it means a lot to me. I'm like, blue tick, nigga. That's how I am. It means something to me. I don't know if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to hide from it, right? So, call me petty, but sometimes I can just, with my friends, and maybe hypothetically, Bankole Williams has 40,000 followers. I'm like, I got 38,000 more than you, bro, right? Call it petty, but I like it, right? Because it means that my work is being recognized. Being put on Forbes, I didn't pay for that. It means that my work is being recognized. Even if the article on Forbes was a bad one, I don't care. I'm in Forbes. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Who cares? No PR is bad. But it was a good article, by the way, if I do say so myself. Right? Here's another reason. Is this making any sense? Yes. Here's another reason your dreams can't be turned into dollars. You're trading time for money. So as long as you have to be physically present to make money, you're not going to make money. You hear what I said? Yeah. As long as you have to be physically present to make money, you are not going to make money. So, check it out. I just turned 40, right? And it scared the living bejesus out of me. Because when I turned 40, I think I had like 2 months of depression. I'm not joking. I had like 2 months of serious depression. Because all I could think about was how many more years do I have left? While I was like, God, I'm grateful for what you've done with me so far, but you know what? How do I teach me to number my days so that I can use them wisely? So it got me so depressed. And it made me realize that, listen, while I love what I do, there are certain things about what I do that I don't love. And you've got to think about it that way. You may love what you do, but think about the things about what you do that you don't love. So what do I mean? I love being here with you guys, but I hate the fact that I have to drive through traffic to get here. I hate that part. Cut that part out, I'm good. If I could teleport and land here, I'll be fine, right? But the whole drive, when we're done, the drive back, I'm going to hate that part too. I can train organizations and have an amazing time, but I hate having to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, hit the road by 5, get there by 5:30, sleep till 7. I hate that part. So it's not sustainable. I hate the fact that after running a training like this, 9 hours straight, 10 hours straight, I'm tired as hell. I hate that part. So what do we start doing? I started thinking about how do we get freedom? How do I become free from this work that I do? I walked into a training with First Bank a couple of years ago. And we had just gotten that deal and I was really excited. So it was the first day. I was walking into my class, then I noticed there was an older gentleman who was walking into his class. And it was almost like that freeze frame moment. And I could see the parallels. I was young, he was old. My suit was shiny, his suit was frayed and dusty. I was there because I wanted to be there. He was there because he had to be there. And I heard, listen, I don't care how people say, I heard God say, this is going to be you. And I said, God forbid. I said, if you keep doing what you're doing, this is going to be you. So do I want to be training people, even though that's what I love to do, but do I want to be there because I have to be there? I'm like, no, man. There's got to be a better way. So for me, freedom became, how do I do things online? How do I scale? How do I reach 1,000 people and I don't have to be physically present? How do I make more? If you come into my office, on my wall, there's a phrase that I wrote there, and it's one of the things that I prayed about, and it was one of my words for 2018 and 19, and God said, to earn more, do less. Yeah. To earn more, do less. Sounds like a paradox, sounds like an irony, sounds like an oxymoron. To earn more, do less. So I started, those words, to earn more, do less, I had to take that phrase and break it down and break it down and break it down. How do I make more by doing less? And one of the ways that I found was doing stuff online. So the same way you can go on live on Instagram and you can get 100 people show up, imagine if people were paying you for going live. I think late last year, early 1st of January last year. Can I give you?
Yes, sir.
2016, June. I had a meeting with one of my mentors, Alibaba, the comedian. And he had just had his January 1st comedy show. That was the first time he launched it. So I went to visit him and I wanted to get some ideas from him because he'd been in the industry for so long, a mentor. He's helped other people blow their careers, not threatened by anyone. So I just wanted to sit with him and say, how do I also proliferate and share my knowledge and value without being threatened and da-da-da-da-da. And he told me a couple of things. And somewhere in the middle, we talked about his event. And he said he had paid for Eco Hotel January 1st, right, till 2020. I will say that again. He had paid for the venue and owned the date January 1st from 2016 till 2020. He had paid money down for it. So let's put it in context. The main bowl, the biggest hall in the Eco Hotel at the time was about 20 million. No frills, no thrills, no bells, no whistles. Just rents the hall, the bare skeleton, 20 million. If you wanted to spruce it up, the whole 9 yards, it goes for about 30. And he had paid for 4 years. Chai. And the first thing it's told me that this guy's not planning to die anytime before 2020. The second thing, then he now said, and he said this in pidgin, he said, bad as he bad. He was projecting based on what he had made. He said, bad as he bad, if it was based on what we did this one, he said, bad as he bad, we'll walk away with 50 million naira. So hold on. 50 million naira for what? For an event, Abi? No. 50 million naira for 1 day, Abi? So 1 day event, Abi? No. 50 million naira for the first day of the year. You guys need to think of what I just said again. Not 50 million naira for an event, not 50 million naira for a 1 day event, 50 million naira on the first day of the year. When he said that, I just held my head and I heard the theme song, just thinking about it. And I said to him, I said, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I've gotten a lesson learned, and I left. Because, listen, with all these gists that Pastor Dami and all the amazing speakers have been telling you, see, there's a difference between gist and result. Gist, we're gisting right now. Results comes by the questions you ask yourself. What are the questions you are asking? What are the questions you are asking? So, for example, let me use Uche. Uche will be asking, where can I get all the names of the local government chairmen? Where are all the offices of all the local government chairmen? What are the wives of all the local government chairmen? What are the names of all the senators? What are the names of all the governors? Who do I need to talk to? That's what she will be thinking about. Those are the questions that she would write, that when she leaves this Dream Academy, she can turn them into dollars, because those are executable steps. You get me what I'm saying? And this is the beautiful thing about God, because God is not a respecter of persons. So when Alibaba said that, the first thing it made me do, was I started asking myself certain questions. And one of the first questions, I'll not BS you, one of the first questions I asked is, why am I going to church on crossover? That was the first question I asked. Why do I go to church on crossover? Why do we go to church on crossover? And I said to myself, wait, so on the December 31st, we're all shambine and hallelujah and da-da-da-da-da. And we're getting wet on God's supply. It's like God is just pouring showers of blessings and we're all, getting high under the spirits. But Alibaba has brought a bucket. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. God is pouring the blessing. The guy carried a bucket. I took the water and said, I'm going to sell it. I started asking myself questions, and the first question I asked, my second question I asked was, how do I make ₦1 million on the first day of the year? Because my industry had conditioned me to say you cannot make money on the first day of the year. Things will pick up in April. So my clients will do training needs analysis, they'll drop their budgets, and see, the fact that it trends doesn't make it true. The fact that it's been a trend doesn't make it true. So I've been conditioned to believe that by April work will, because my clients that's how we roll. So I sit in a state of panic and repose, not even repose, panic, waiting for April to come so I can get some work done and make some money. Until I asked myself, how can I make money? And I see 50 million is too much. Alibaba is doing that, and I can't. Our levels are there. $1 million. If I can do $1 million, I'm good. Next question. What can I sell to give me $1 million? Next question. How many people do I want to give me $1 million? And I broke it down. 10 people, 100K. $1 million. How am I going to do it? Online. What are you going to do? Take your program, Mastering the Business of Your Talent. I've been teaching it offline in physical locations. Put it online. I put it online. That year, 2017, January 1st, I put my program out there, Mastering the Business of Your Talent. I promoted it. 1st of January, I made 1.4 million there. So 14 people gave me 10K. 1.4 million there. I said, it works. Take, 14 people giving me 100K, thank you. Yeah, 14 people giving me 100K. I said it works. Because guess what? January 1st is quite interesting because Christmas, people have blown their money. I mean, that's what they say. Christmas, December, they've blown their money. January, they're trying to get their act together. February, they're hemorrhaging, and by March, they're trying to put things consolidating. 2017, right? 2018, January 1st, I did it again. First day of the year, Mastering the Business of Your Talent, 100,000 naira. This time, my tithe was 1.4 million naira. Yes, so my tithe was 1.4 million naira. And yes, I tithe. I don't care what Free says, I tithe. Yeah? No, you can calculate the money. I have it. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Does anyone understand where I'm coming from? Are you thinking about your life? You'll be fine. So you can't keep doing things the same way. In fact, to now make it, so in 2018, somewhere in the middle of the year, I went to go and see Alibaba again. And I said to him, boss, the last time I came and, you gave me, so he said, oh, that's my eco-hotel, this thing. My eco-hotel, I said, yes, sir. I said, oh, it worked. Oh, the things you told me, they worked. And I brought him, I got him exactly this watch, okay? It's quite expensive. So when I spent the money, it was about $800 to $1,000. Packed it and I gave him. He said, oh yeah, let me tell you something else. And I'm not joking with you. It was what he told me. Listen, that's the difference between gist and questions. Is what he told me that puts the seed of owning my own house in my mind. Because when he was talking, he said, so let me say exactly what he said to me. He said to me, sure you remember in 2012 that I had this event center called Excusez-moi. You remember just where ShopRite is? Right? excusez-moi. He said, when I bought it and I set it up, it cost me 40 million. For the land and everything, 40 million. He said, 10 months later, I made 400 million from the events and da-da-da-da-da. He said, about that time, you're having a heart attack. Don't worry. Wait, just hold on. When I finish, you can have it. See? He now said, I made 400 million. He said, at the time that I made that money, he said, Aliko brought out sugar. Who is Aliko? See, you people call him Dangote. He calls him Aliko. Hey, there are levels. He said, Aliko brought out sugar. And he did so his IPO for his sugar shares in his sugar company, da-da-da-da. He said, he said it was 1 naira 46 copper per share. My wife bought 100 and I bought 180. Okay? My wife bought 100 and I bought 180. Sorry, what number did you hear? Okay? What number did you hear? Okay? 100 and 180. Not 100K. You know, my brother over there was 600K. It's not 100K. 100 million. And I bought 180 million on shares. He now said, a few months later, please stay with me. A few months later, it went to 46 naira. Yeah. Are we together? So he said it went to 46 naira. He said, so I cashed out, stay with me. So he said, I cashed out so it won't be that I was greedy, right? Then he said, from the money we got, he said, we bought Nikon Town. We built the estates along Orchid Road. We bought this, Queen's Drive, this. He said, so go and do what I've told you. I said, yes, sir. I'll go and do what you told me. So the quality of the shares, his wife's shares eventually was about 5 billion naira. His own share was about 8 point something billion. I don't know if you know. So if you like, be abusing him on Instagram. That man is a billionaire. It's not, yes, that you will have no clue. Are we together? Are we together, guys? Eh?
So we had an argument in class who was richer, Alibaba or AY.
No, Alibaba.
Who chose AY?
No.
So this is like
AY is wealthy, but he's flashy. Alibaba has money. No. There's no argument. There's no argument. Are we together, guys? Don't argue about their money. Have your own. Don't be arguing. Don't be arguing. You get me what I'm saying? Don't argue. Have your own. Yeah? Are we together, guys? And when the last time I saw him, it was at Kathy's event. And I said to him, I said, boss, you know that last time we talked, so I showed him the picture of the house. And he said, now you're, he said, so go and get the next one. I said, yes, sir. I said, okay, next one. And he said, don't buy the house for yourself. Oh. So go and buy a block of flats. Go and buy plenty. So go and buy a shopping complex. I said, yes, sir. So he said, go and do that one. But because I'm a good student, everything he tells me, I do it. And that's what Jesus said. Everything I see my Father do, I do it. This is Dream Academy. Your tuition, your certificate is not the money that they will give you. Your certificate is the execution, the results of everything. Listen, don't get it twisted. The reason I'm not charging is because it's my brother. Anyone else, you guys, I don't do free stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? So I cannot come and waste my time, right? And tell you guys stuff, and you guys will not do. And if I dare recognize you by mistake, and I knew it was here, and you said, oh, hi, Mr. Steve Harris. I'm like, yeah, hi. You don't know me. We met at the Dream Academy. Oh, fantastic. So what the hell have you done? That's how I am. Uche, you know that's me and you. I'm on your P forever until you deliver. So it's maybe Dream Academy, well, we want results. Okay, let me move on. I gotta hurry. Can you guys take a few more? I'm almost done. I promise I'm almost done. Your dreams can't be turned into dollars because you're following the passion, not the money. And I know it's great to follow your passion. It's great to follow your passion. But if your passion isn't going to pay the bills, right? Change it. See, money is called, check it out, money is called currency, yes? Right? Because there's current. It is flowing, right? So follow it, follow the flow. Follow the flow. All right? And to do that, you've got to target who you want to work with. You've got to be really clear. You've got to be really clear. Target your customers. Know exactly what you want. Know exactly. You've got to be able to x-ray them. What are their dreams? What are their desires? What are their aspirations? What's their DNA? Desires, needs, aspirations. Right? And one of the things you've got to be clear about is when you're selling to your clients, it's about the destination, not the vehicle. So you've got to ask yourself, where are they going? What's their desired destination? Where are they going? What are they really trying to do? Especially when you're now tied with their fantasy, their deep, dark, secret desire that they can't articulate. And when you're thinking about your business proposition, don't think about it like a business person. Think like a real human being. You know now. You know. I didn't buy this watch for the money that I did because it looked nice. No. I bought this watch for the money I did because when I wear it, when I do this, oh, man, I'm thinking. Take a picture. I need this picture. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? When the people that know, they know. If you know, you know. That's all. I don't need to talk too much. You get what I'm saying? See? Does it cost $3,000 to make this? No. But all of a sudden, this is the picture of high class. If somebody does yellow or blue now, I don't know if you know what I'm saying. This means something. They're not, see, understand this. Christian Louboutin is not selling shoes. He's selling a status product with motion benefits. He's selling a status product with motion benefits. You just happen to walk in them. I'm selling you a status product with motion benefits. Do you get where I'm coming from? I was consulting to a cookware company. They make pots and pans. They sell pots and pans, but their pots and pans are like $1 million and stuff like that. And they were having a huge problem selling. Their salespeople couldn't wrap their minds around it because, first off, I said to them, I asked the sales reps, how many of you own these pots and pans? The number of, with what now? How now? I said, that's the problem. That's why you can't sell it. You don't own it, you can't sell it. You can't transfer the conviction. It's just still a concept. I said, think to you, in your eye, it's still pots. How can I justify that a pot is 1 million? No, now. And we worked on that. So, Christian Louboutin sells a status product with motion benefits. Harvard is an education product with status benefits. Do you get it? Harvard is an education product with status benefits. I graduated magna cum laude, summa cum laude from Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Oxford, Tulane. You know what I'm saying? It means something. So how do you sell your product? If you go on my Instagram, you would see my bio and it says, I'm the first coach you should have called to multiply your business profits, and I'm the last one you'll need. Now, it may seem like an arrogant statement, but it's not. Because I read in the Bible that the woman with the issue of blood had the issue for 12 years, and the Bible says she had spent all her living. And then she heard about Jesus. And then when she heard about Jesus, did she need anybody else? So what I'm saying in my own way is I'm the Jesus of this game. It's not an arrogant statement. It's not an arrogant statement. Because my positioning, stay with me, because my positioning says after you have gone and spent all your living and have not gotten results, then you will come. And I'll be waiting. And after you've gotten steved, you're not going anywhere else again. Because, Pastor Dami and I were talking, and he was saying something about the amazing people who I've been privileged to work with and their testimonials. And I say that's the beautiful thing. In that scripture again, please forgive me again. In that scripture it says, and men came to see Lazarus, whom Jesus had raised. So Jesus didn't need to preach anymore. He just showed them Lazarus. And then they believed. That's results. Do you get what I'm saying? So he doesn't need to preach. He didn't need to advertise and say, no, I can heal you, give me a try, give me a chance, I promise I'll be the baddest healer ever. No. Didn't argue too much, just came out. Did you even read the scripture? Jesus just came to the tomb and says, yo, Laz, show. The end. And men came to see the Lazarus whom Jesus had raised. So where are your Lazaruses? Where are the people that have used your products? Please allow me one more analogy and I'm done. I'm putting this thing down. I'm done. Can I get somebody's purse, bag, something? Don't worry, I won't open it, don't worry. I don't know why. Every time I read the Bible, I see business. Or maybe it's because I'm 50% Igbo, so I don't know what it is. Right? But check this out. Is this making sense? Final thought. So, there's a big battle, right? Israel versus the Philistines. And for 40 days, Goliath has been taunting them. And David shows up. And he asks a very fundamental question. In fact, before that one, let me go to the first one I wanted to say. There's a scripture, I don't know where, chapter, verse, and it talks about a battle that was about to happen between two countries. And the king and the cabinet were confused. And then someone says, oh, there's a poor wise guy in the city. His wisdom can save the city. And the Bible says they called that wise guy, and his wisdom saved the city. But no one remembered the poor wise guy. One of the scariest scriptures I've ever read. Then it comes to David. And David comes out, and here's Goliath taunting and doing all the drama. And he asks a very interesting question. He said, what shall be done for the man who takes out this problem? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? He said, oh, he'll marry the king's daughter. I said, okay, cool. His parents won't pay taxes. Oh, fantastic. They gave him all the terms and conditions, and David says, I'm in, I'll do it. I'll do it. And then, long story short, kills Goliath. Abi? When he kills Goliath, you know what he does? The Bible says. And when David killed Goliath, the armies of Israel ran into the field to chase the armies of the Philistines. And the Bible says, and David took the head of Goliath and took it to his tent and kept it there. Now, why was that important? Because it's possible that in the melee and the onslaught and the rushing crowd, one sharp guy will see Goliath's head and say, hey, and carry it, because it's very possible that maybe Saul could not identify who the person was killing Goliath. He didn't know who where. And it's whoever has the head that gets ahead. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Right? And he brings the head. Right? If you remember, in another scripture, somewhere down, when David was about to be made king, right? One guy comes to David, and he comes with a crown and some of Saul's gauntlets, armor. And he says to David, I was passing by, the king was dying, he asked me to kill him, and so I killed him, and I brought the crown, and this, that, and the... And the guy didn't do it. He just happened to find it. And David said, how dare you kill the Lord's anointed? And he took his head off. Right? What's my point? Where are your heads? Where's the evidence of all the things you've been doing for the last three, 4 goddamn years? So you've been killing giants, no head, no proof, no testimonial. No results. Nobody that can brag on you. No one that can prove to say this person did this. These are the heads that I've done. These are the heads that I've helped. These are the people that I've helped. You're not keeping track. So you're killing giants, slaying stuff. Other people are taking the credit. You're wondering what the hell is wrong with you. That's not God's problem. God didn't tell David, my son, when you go before the battle, sayest thou to the king that what shall be done for the guy who kills. None of that stuff. Use this brain. Critical thinking. That's how you get ahead. That's how you turn your dreams into dollars. It's about being ruthless. It's about acting. It's not about thinking too much. Listen, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Just has to be done. Fail now. Fail well. Failure is proof positive that you did it. Failure is proof positive that you did it. You tried. The last time I was at Dream Academy was 2012. That wasn't the first time you did it. 2012 till 2019, that's 7 years. But guess what? He has the heads. You can go online, you see the pictures, you see the videos, he has the heads, he has the evidence. I hope with these few thoughts of mine, I've been able to convince you. Yeah? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrate!
Making plans, projections, and setting deadlines, especially for tasks that you know that are urgent that you need to accomplish.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Okay. And the second one, one of the things we learned yesterday was on conviction. Now, how do you test whether your conviction is strong enough to see through to the end, whatever it is you've committed your hands to?
Those are pretty hard questions. One of the things that I find, and I think God is everything. God is important. So allow me to say for a moment, just take God out of the equation, right? Because a lot of our waiting on God is really procrastination, right? A lot of waiting on God is really being perfectionist because you're afraid to execute. So you're waiting. So if you think about it, most times, if you look at Gideon, when God had given Gideon an instruction, Gideon, so to speak, tested the will of God and said, well, if it is your will, then let rain fall on the ground, but let the fleece be dry, right? God had told him, get this thing moving. So yeah, Lord, but just to be sure it's you, that's not myself. If it's you, let the fleece be wet and let the ground be dry. And God only gave him those signs to say, are we done yet? Can we now go to do the thing that I asked you to do? Right? When Elijah, I think it was, went into the desert and into the cave, and he was waiting for a sign, the Bible says that the wind came, this one came, that one came. And the first question God asked him, so what the hell are you doing here? That's the SHV, Steve Harris version. That's the SHVS. Like, what are you doing? The first question he asked him is, what are you doing here? And they said, you know what? Go and do this. Go and anoint this guy. Go and anoint this guy. This guy's replacing you. Go. Get out of here. So, waiting for God and not doing stuff is a waste of time. Right? And I personally believe that, we may not always all hear a word behind us and say, this is what you should do. But that's why God has put these markers in you. He's put your passion. He's put your passion leads you to your attraction. So you're passionate about something, and then you're attracted to everyone who seems to do that same thing. So it's pulling you. You know, does the magnet have to ask God, is it your will for me to attract iron filings? No. The magnet just recognizes that there's a pull. I have a pull. I just have to keep moving in this direction. And as long as you're moving in that direction, you find provision, you find resources, you find things, right? God never told me, my son, go and meet this person to buy a house. He just put a question in my heart, and a question that I couldn't get out of my head. And the question started giving me sleepless nights, and I started thinking, and I acted on it. But was it his will for me to have a house? Yes. If I didn't do those actions, will I have the house? No. So you can say to God, "This is Lord, see, I'm going to do this thing, and I trust you. It's going to be great because it's in line with everything that I understand, in line with my gift sets, my this. You know, bless it." The Bible says God will bless the works of your hands, right? So you don't even need to ask Him. In reality, He will bless it, right? So that's my understanding, right? I know He could have a different opinion, right? You know, He has a better network service to God than I do. Mine gets a little fuzzy from time, breaks from time, but you know, at least God has my number. You know, but that's how I interpret it. So, but a lot of what we say that God said is our way of procrastination because we're really afraid and we don't know. God never told David, go to the battlefield and fight, therefore you would see a giant. David just saw Goliath and was like, are you guys freaking kidding me? What are you guys afraid of? This guy can take him out for breakfast. His passion was attracted to the problem. He was like, this is a problem I can solve now. I'll see the heads that I've taken now. He said, Goliath, you guys are complaining. I've killed, this guy has 2 legs. The lions and the bears have 4 legs. This guy is short too now. I can take this guy out. Do you get? So let your passion and your attraction lead you. That's what I think. So, yeah. Yes, please. Sure.
I think that many times a lot of us think that the whole purpose thing is so mathematical, but it's not. So to look at the life of David and the story you just talked about, you know that it was his father that sent him to go and look after his brothers. He had been taking care of sheep before, and then here comes a call. So your life in some ways already set. All you're supposed to do is respond. So if you have an instruction, respond to it. You have an observation, respond to it. You see an opportunity, respond to it. Now he got to the battlefield. What was he responding to? There was a pull of destiny on the inside of him. But that pull of destiny would never come to be if he didn't respond to the instruction. So sometimes the instruction will come in the Sunday service. Sometimes instruction comes when you're praying. Sometimes it comes whilst it's speaking. A flash of idea. You don't need to see an angel or. Sometimes you're watching, you're looking at the screen, but you've zoned out. Anybody like that? You've gone somewhere. That's an instruction. I'm not saying you're dreaming as well. You're so. Don't put yourself under pressure. By the way, in flight, there's something called course correction.
Yeah.
Which means that if you're actually deviating, if you're in a different place, you stay tuned to the control tower, not you as the pilot. They know how many nautical miles off, northeast, or whatever latitude you're on, and then you can correct. And that's where trust comes in the God, like he said, praying that sincere prayer, saying, God, I don't know it all, but based on what I know now, this is what I'm doing. That's where the faith and trust comes. That even if you're missing it, in missing it, you know, in mission, there's missing. There's missing mission. In missing it, good will come out of it, that ultimately you'll still be on the right track. And that's the greater faith people don't apply. They're waiting for the faith of, let me hear something. There is the faith of God in my mess, there's a message.
Yeah.
In my misstep, God, you've got me. So there's that part.
True. Okay. Questions? Don't be shy.
Thank you so much. Let me begin from there. When you talked about selling to people's checklists on told fantasies, I happen to believe that I'm in a coaching industry. So I'm in that place where I'm wondering that I'm selling to people, I'm trying to help them gain emotional stability, use the word freedom, so that they can live the life that they truly seek and not stay in a place of limitation. And so I'm asking you, being a coach, what would you now say darkest secrets or untold fantasies of these individuals when they seek life coaching services and all of that?
So, forgive me, but I'm about to rain on your parade.
The reason I say that is they're not going to pay for that. They ain't going to pay for that. And I say that respectfully because what you're offering them is a check they can't cash today. I'll explain. So, my daughter plays the piano. Oh, she stopped playing the piano, but when she used to play the piano, the reason she played was she displayed musical intelligence, and so we decided to hone in that direction and just, play. But every time my friends came over, I would say, "Yo, P, bring your piano, come and play something for us." And then my daughter would play maybe Mary Had a Little Lamb or the national anthem or something. And by the time she plays and everybody, yay, every time they clap, I'm looking at my friends like, can your kids do that? That is a deep, dark fantasy that I'm not going to utter with my mouth though. But the people who needed to hear have heard it. So when they go back home, they're looking at their children like, come, in fact, can't you display a skill? I don't know if you know what I mean. That is a check I can cash today. So every time my daughter plays the piano, right, I feel like I'm a better parent. It's a check I can cash today. I can see the short term, I can see the investments, the return now. What you're offering, because when you say life coaching, it is at the span of my life. I don't know if you know what I mean. It might be at the end of my life that I realized that your life coaching was valuable to me, but it's not a check I can cash now. So what are the checks that I can cash now? Again, remember that I said, don't follow the passion, follow the money. And where you follow the money, if you find that there are skills you don't have, go and learn them, right? So for example, I am a certified life coach, but I don't teach people squat about, I don't handle issues like depression, I don't handle issues like, none of that stuff. Why? Because number one, it just takes the heck of a lot out of me, right? I can't deal with that. There are people who have a stronger constitution that can handle that, so I leave that. And second, I found out that there are 4 things that people pay for when it comes to coaching. There is business, there's finance, there's relationships, and then there is health. Their business, right? Their finance, so they want to be able to make more money, right? Their, what was the third one I said? Their relationships, right? And then their health. Life coaching doesn't answer the question for them. It's I'll be fine. Last, I'll be fine. Do you get where I'm coming from? So what I'm saying is, the people who will pay for life coaching are not people in this room. They are people, they are their parents who are concerned about people like them. So for example, I've had, the only serious clients I've had concerning life coaching are parents who call me and say, oh, I read your book. My son is trying to drop out of school or he's strong on drugs. Can you talk to him? I will charge them. I don't know if you know what I mean. They can pay me. So when I say, okay, you know what, let me see your son, but you're going to have to pay me $100K to see him. They'll pay because it's urgent and importance to them. But a 27, 30-year-old, their life is not that bad that they will give you $100K for something that they cannot immediately measure. They can't cash that check today. So what I'm saying is, maybe in America, it would work. But here, maybe not so much. I could be wrong, but I've been doing this for 14 years, and I'm not wrong. That's why if you notice, most coaches tend towards business, because that's where the money is. So if it's a skill you don't have, then if you're interested, then go and develop that skill, right? But if it's life coaching as the way I understand you've articulated it, they won't pay for it. They can't cash it now. It's a long-term issue. But if it's business, they can see the results. If it's their health, you are fat, you are slim. 90 days, you can see the results. At what point does your life coaching intervention change my life? At what point do I go from broke to rich? Can you deliver that in 90 days? That's life coaching. You can't deliver that because each individual is different. Some people are hardwired to do it well. They have a strong work ethic. They will make it happen. There's some who don't. But if you offer the 90-day guarantee and their emotional or psychological constituency doesn't allow them to, you're screwed. Sorry, man.
Thank you so much for this. I agree so strongly with what you said. I realized that I was marketing for my training coming up next week.
What training is that?
It's personality development and brand strategy.
That doesn't mean squat. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, right? But, you know, I'm sorry. If I come across as crass, please forgive me. And I'm not trying to be rude.
I'm very fine.
What problem must I have that you will be the solution? People are not thinking, oh, woe is me, I need personality, thingamajiggy, and brand strategy. They don't think that. The guy's like, I am broke. Who can help me make money? Or my business is going down. Who do I need to talk to? Oh, I don't have a boyfriend. I can't get a husband. Who do I need to talk to? That's what they think about, right? So if your proposition is too complex in the way that I'm like, say what? If it needs explanation, it's already too complex. Yeah? If it needs explanation, so tell me what you do. Say what? It's already too complex. Simple. My hair can't grow. Who do I talk to? Uche, the end. I can't get a date. Who do I talk to? This person. I'm looking for a dress that will kill everybody. Who do I talk to? That person. What problem must I have for you to be the solution? The end. Dumb it down. Forgive me, no disrespect. Your customers they're not, let me say carefully, they're not that smart. They don't have time for interpretation. Break it down, let me understand. So what you explain makes sense from you as the trainer, as the coach. They don't get it. What's the problem? What's the benefits? What's the deliverable? They don't get it. Too complex, I don't get it.
The end. Okay, so I was saying that I did the advert, and as soon as I said that, the couple registered last time. And since after the training, I've been getting reports from the wife, who is now telling me how their marriage seems to have blossomed from experiences in class as the husband always plays with her. The lady just called to sign up. I wasn't just signing up for herself, for another guy who I suppose they are dating. And I just thought about it. So, same relationship, I could see that the testimonial from that couple sort of made her sort of registering for the training.
She saw the relationship, I need relationship help. This guy does relationship, fantastic. But the whole thingamajiggy, the whole package that you wrapped it in, too complex. Dumb it down. Yeah? Cool. I'm sorry I'm rude, though, but that's the way I roll. Maybe I'll take one more person. Anyone? Going. No, I'm not.
I've been following you for a long time.
Oh.
You're just very ruthless.
Grazie.
Okay, so one of the main reasons why I registered for the Dream Academy, my deepest need is the fact that these ideas, they just keep popping, and then the talents that I have that I'm not using are just there. I kind of feel like if anything happens to me right now and I leave this earth, what would I have done? And like you said, people don't want to think about complex things. Like to me, that always said, simplicity is complex already. You don't need to do all of that. But I also understand that there is this need in you that needs to be satisfied. And the more you keep making money, if that need inside of you is not satisfied, because money would always, you always need money. You bought a house of 20 million. I'm sure your next.
No, it was more than that. So that was a down payment.
Okay, The man allowed you to pay 20 million. Now I'm just trying to say that you will keep aspiring, like that Maslow. You want 50 million now, and do you keep working? Yes, you will make money, but if this thing in here is not satisfied, what is now the goal? So why did I say all of that? When I started out with this anointed MC thing, it wasn't because I wanted people to think I'm a Christian and they can't use me. Because although people think about the anointing like, the Holy Spirit. Straight up, But the way I think about it is the anointing to remove dullness. Which means even if I hate boring events, trust me, I can't stand it. So I can't stand it. So that's why I use that name. But I'm more than that. I'm a resourceful person. I'm the person that, like you said, people don't want to think about events. They have the event, but they don't want to think about all the wahala of the program, the profiling, the setup, if things are in place, the marketing, the branding, the safety. So I'm thinking of all that, but I don't know how to put all into a solution that I'm not just giving you an MC, I'm giving you someone who is thinking for you, somebody who's going to market for you, somebody who's going to brand for you, somebody who's going to think about the safety, whatever, of your event and all of those things. But I don't know how to put it together and offer that particular solution.
Cool. So let me put it this way, right? I said something a couple of days ago that it's not enough for you to find the gap in the markets where you can add value. You must also find the market in the gap, right? So I'm going to say that again. It's not enough for you to find the gap in the market. You've got to be able to find if there's a market in this gap, right? So all the beautiful things you said, the average events person who needs to compare, they ain't thinking about none of that. All the things you just said, nobody's thinking about that. That's not a concern. My concern is, because I've anchored events, I don't do that anymore, but I've anchored events and people pay for, they want someone who, if they can't get a comedian, you have to be, as a comparer, I'm not, because I don't think I'm funny, right? They want someone who will make them laugh, who will, bring some swag and class to the event and handle everything, just handle the event seamlessly. All this wahala that you're putting yourself through, they're not thinking about it, they don't care, right? Why would they want IK to compare an event or Ebuka to compare an event? Simple. Because this guy, it's about their deep, dark desire. All these things you mentioned doesn't hit my deep, dark desire list. It's functions, right? If they bring IK to my events to compare, IK, big boy, biggest, and he knows everybody, he blows their mind. My events there will be no dull moments with IK or Ebuka or whoever the case may be. That's what they're paying for. No dull moments. And the bragging rights to say that IK was the MC at my wedding. So for example, at my traditional wedding, P Square were at my wedding. Now, no, don't get it twisted. I didn't pay them. They're friends of my wife's family. But I can brag and say, the P Square was at my wedding. That's what I'm paying for, right? So my point is, you may be exerting your mind on things that really don't matter. Just give them the best damn events that they've ever had. And if you are as good as I believe you are, they will refer you to the next person, and the next person, and the next person, right? I may think I don't know, I could be wrong. You might need to pray about it, right? I'm not sure about the whole MC anointed or anointed thing in the jiggy. That's just going to pigeonhole you immediately, right? That's just going to pigeonhole you immediately. Just, pick something that is just neutral. Simple, sellable, neutral. Come with your name, whatever the hell you do. Do it well, right? Because the moment you pigeonhole with MC anointed, immediately Muslims are not going to hire you. First off, 50% of your market is gone. Muslims aren't going to hire you. Yeah. So my name is XYZ, I'm the queen of the mic. Boom. So why are you doing MC, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
Thank you very much for the session. Currently, I work in a bank, and I'm using that as a platform to fuel my passion, which is photography. I understand you switched a couple of years, recently, and I see that it's an industry where there are so many people doing it, and you're trying to pull out your USP from that. What makes you stand out from everyone else from the pack? So what would you say? What would you say to people in an industry that is already flooded, that is already
Okay. Well, I think I said this a few days ago. Your industry is only saturated at the bottom. I just like the way they go. Yeah. It's only saturated at the bottom. So, if you don't have elbow room, it's because you guys are hustling at the bottom. No disrespect. All right? And like I told the photographers today, and it's one of the ideas that I threw out today, every Tom, Dick, and Sheila, I'm going to say Harry, name is Harris. Every Tom, Dick, and Sheila, right, is hustling wedding events and portraits and the whole 9 yards. That place is saturated. There's the industry gods are the Kelechi Amadiobis, the T.Y. Bellows, all those guys. Those are the industry icons. They're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They are not going anywhere, right? So let me use my own industry. The industry gods, Fela Durotwe, Larry Olushola, Nia Desonya, Kunle Shere, they are not going anywhere. It would be foolhardy of me to go toe-to-toe with them. I can't. They know more people. They have more money. They've been there longer. Right? So what's my own? I decided, okay, you know what? My own positioning, please forgive me, may sound a little narcissistic, but it's deliberate, right? My own marketing, my positioning is, see, I want to be not the villain, I want to be the anti-hero of this industry. What do I mean? So let me use football as a metaphor. There are all many football coaches, and there's Jose Mourinho. You get it? You love him, hate him, you cannot ignore him. That is who I am. Do you get? So every industry, will need heroes, and many people want to be heroes. Nobody wants to be the villain. It's cool to be a villain. You know what I mean? Right? So my positioning, right, is, and if you notice, and I do it deliberately. It doesn't mean that I'm a profane person, but I do it deliberately. So if you notice, once in a while, I'll cuss and I'll say something, that'll show, like, ooh, did he just say that? All of that reinforces the emotion or the perception that this Steve Harris guy, this guy is different. He's not the guy who will tell you, yes, you can, I'll tell you, no, you freaking can't. No, you should not. Don't try it, right? I'm probably that guy, right? And it works for me. Now, what I'm saying to your particular industry, right, you can't compete with the gods in your industry, right? So find something different. So like bio, like I just gave you, there are over 1,000 elected officials. If you're going to do wedding events, if you just say weddings in Lekki, the photographers that they will call, there are many. Before they even think of you, Kelechi has to say no, Tiwa has to say no, Jide has to say no, Obisomja has to say no, Wani has to say no. All these guys have to say no. Then they will now with that guy self, before, no disrespect, before they now think of you, right? So there's no point competing with them. Go and look for a place that people are not yet there, but the wave is coming. The wave is coming. The wave is coming. So 10 years ago when I started doing webinars and online programs and things like that, I knew the wave was coming. But I said I want to own online real estate before it becomes really expensive and commoditized, right? I don't know if you know what I mean. So I wanted to go hard on all that technology and invest. So there are things that you remember, there are courses, there are programs, there's tech that we invested in 10 years ago that we have for life. But today people are paying $1,000 or more a year for what we have for life. So we bought tech real estate. We went to where the wave was coming. It's like buying land in VGC when VGC was a swamp, knowing that VGC is coming to become. So imagine if you could go back in time before VGC became VGC and you bought all the land in VGC and waited 20 years. And then development came to BGC, and you're the guy who owned it all. And you started selling for billions and billions. You'll be rich. So go where the wave is going. Think like a businessman. If you're just thinking, oh, I just want to take events and, I want people to like it and share, that means you're operating on influence. But if you want to be a business, which is bottom line money, dollars and cents, naira and kobo, ask yourself, listen, do I want to do 1,000 events to make $1 million? Or do I want to just talk to one person I'll do one portrait, boom, the end. And just that portrait, then I can level up. Do you know how many, if you thought you're a photographer, Pete Souza, Obama's, do you know Pete Souza, Barack Obama's official photographer? Well, who was he before he did Obama's thingamajiggy? No one. I'm sure he was doing amazing work, but no one really knew. Then he became the president's photographer. And now he's written a book, he's written 2 books. Yes, no one, yeah. He's compiled all the pictures, he's selling them, right? And he's making a heck of a lot of money. Of course he does. He has all that, speaking gigs and all the whole, why? He was Barack Obama's photographer. So he goes behind the scenes and says, this picture, let me tell you what happened the day we took this picture. That's what people are paying for. They're not paying for picture. They're paying for the story behind the image. So think like a business. If the business is, you want to make money, instead of hustling events with the other crabs at the bottom of the barrel, no disrespect, then what you need to do, yes, I'm sorry, what you need to do, yes, is to look for the shortest route to market. Don't hustle with the crabs. I would really, as a photographer, bro, I would really, really, really love that your life will change if listen, forgive me, I double dare you, right? I friggin' double dare you to look up these local government chairmen, look up these House of Representative guys. Don't give sleep to your eyes. Have a 30-day goal for the next 30 days. Listen, I don't care what you people think about. So whatever you're doing must be done in 30 days. The next 30 days, I must have 5 appointments with these guys. Just 5. And from those 5, by the grace of God, I'll get 1 deal. I don't care. But I'm going to speak to 100 guys, and hopefully by the great grace of God, with all the hustle and the meetings, some people tell me, no, I should come back tomorrow. I don't care. I just want 5 appointments in 30 days. When I get 5 appointments and I sit down before their eyes and I tell them how I can make them the most popular local government chairman in Nigeria. Ask them, please, sir, before you became local government chairman, name 5 local government chairmen across Nigeria that are not in your party. They cannot name. My goal, sir, I want to make you the most popular local government chairman in Nigeria. That's my job. And this is what I want. This is my proposal. I'm not here to take your picture, sir. This is what I'm here to do for you. Do you think he does not want that? Because becoming the most popular local government chairman in Nigeria is a stepping stone to becoming governor. That is his deepest, darkest desire. He's not going to tell you that. But you make a mistake and think that your job is to take his pictures. Say, sir, we're here in reputation management. I'm here to amplify your brand. I'm here to get everybody in Lagos State talking about you. That's my job. And after that, after the first year, my job is to make every person in Lagos State talk about you. For the second year, my job is to make everybody in the Southwest talk about you. From the third year, my job is to make everyone in Nigeria know your name. So that after your first term, sir, you should be one that people are talking about to go for governor. This is what I'm here to help you do. Do you think you will charge 200K for that?
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrate. I know you can do that.